How much, with judgments like this too, you know, and 7.5 million people coming inside America, staying in America in just Joe Biden's 3 years, how big an issue is illegal immigration now in America?
Let me just back up and remark on what you just said. The people in Texas who came into the country illegally, and I think I mentioned to you this last time, there are 28 legal ports of entry in Texas where you can come present yourself for asylum. In many of these cases, they're cutting through wire. They're going through ports of entry, sneaking into the country illegally, not even abiding by the rules. Then in this particular case, National Guardsmen, military members from our country stopped them, told them to, not go any further, that there was an additional barrier there. They hurt and violently attacked these National Guardsmen, and now they're being told, these people who came into the country illegally, that they're the ones who can sue the guardsmen, right? So it's one illegal act after another that is being committed, and yet the message that's being sent, as you noted a minute ago, is, hey, not only come, but you're being welcomed. You're going to be provided, gift cards and housing and travel, and now you can actually probably sue anyone who detains you. The bigger question that you're asking, Andrew, and this is what you're getting at, is what's really happening in this country. And I think that we have realized that the Democratic Party in this country has recognized that their future growth is dependent on becoming the party that aligns itself with people who come into the country illegally and befriending them and saying, we're the ones who allowed you to come in, we're allowing you to stay, and we're going to fight for your citizenship. There's several methods that this is going to manifest itself in, but the most recent immigration bill that they pushed would have allowed for not just judges, but what they're calling immigration officers to grant asylum on the spot. Once you have successfully applied for asylum, it's a 5-year path to citizenship. Once you have citizenship, you can vote. But remember, most of these people, if up until that point, were just coming into the country, falling into the areas. But the bigger point that people have to understand who may not live in America, we do a census every 10 years. And we count the number of people in states. Notice I didn't say citizens, it's the number of people. So if you flood the zone and bring in all these people into California, they then, when they go to divvy up how much federal dollars they're entitled to and how many members of Congress they're entitled to, it's not based on how many citizens live in California, but how many people. So whether you're legally here or illegally, you still count for the number of congressional seats that California or any other state would be awarded. And then your proportion of federal dollars is driven by the amount of bodies that are in that state at that time. So there is an encouragement by folks on the left to flood the zone and to bring these people into their state, because it means more federal dollars from the government, and it means more representation. So there's a method to the madness here that they don't want to tell you about.
And also 7 million potential Democrat voters. Sean Spicer, President Biden declared March 31, that was Sunday this year, the day of transgender visibility. Easter Sunday this year it happened to fall on. Here is his order where he actually put his name to it very proudly. And here is the tweet that he put out on Sunday promoting this day of transgender visibility. Now Joe Biden says, no, he didn't do it. He didn't declare Easter that day. What's going on?
Well, that's a great question, because they were asked point blank today, did you do it? And he said no. And it's pretty obvious. You just put up the evidence. It happened. Now, what the White House will argue is that, well, Transgender Day has been recognized for the past couple of years of this administration on March 31st. What I take issue with is that, look, transgender and there's Gay Pride Month, there's Transgender Day. Christ died once and rose once. And to sort of equivocate those dates seems to me, from a guy who claims to be a devout Catholic, that his priorities weren't in order. He could have easily found a way to just, recognize these days, but it wasn't like the trans and LGBTQ community is suffering from lack of recognition and dates in the calendar. There's one political influencer that put up, today somewhere in the area of 60 days that are recognized throughout the year for this community. To show the level of insensitivity that he did on the most important holy day for Christians from a guy who claims that he's a devout Christian and Catholic, to me, seemed a bit politically tone deaf at best.
Sean Spicer, always great to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Always good to see you.